Assalamu alaikum, welcome to Bidaya Screencast. Today's lesson is the Chapter 2 exercise. This is the final assessment to make sure that the student has mastered the skills of Chapter 2, which include Fatha, Dhamma, and Kasra. As usual, our tests use an increasingly difficult technique where the first lines present the most simple concepts and the final lines are the more complicated, longer words. And in this way you can see how far or how deep the student's understanding is of Chapter 2. For example, if the student shows proficiency in lines 1, 2, and 3 and begins to get stuck near 4, 5, and 6, we know the student struggles with Dhamma, or we know the student struggles with longer words. So the first line mainly focuses on two-letter words, followed by the second line, which is limited only to Fatha, and then third line combines three-letter words with Fatha and Kasra. The fourth line introduces the Dhamma, and lines 5 and 6 increase the length of the words to 4 and 5 letters. Again, the main focus or the main checkpoint to be reached by Chapter 2 is for the student to completely be independent of studying or of spelling each word letter by letter before reading. The minimum score is an 8 out of 10 for this lesson, and this basically means the student should be able to connect letters in pairs, 2 by 2. For example, in La Fasadati, the student should at least read it in this way, connecting the first two, the second two, and leaving the third letter alone. For example, La Fa Sadati, La Fasadati. And in this way the student will have less difficulty in the coming lessons because it's expected that he or she can read words without spelling them letter by letter. And of course, after completing this assessment, the student can be evaluated in the Chapter 2 evaluation. As we mentioned before, this is the main form of communication with the student's parents, because most of the work takes place in class as well as in the home. So it's necessary for the parents to know which lessons the student passed, which lessons the student needs work and additional practice on, and which lessons the student needs to redo. Also, we give the student a grade out of 10. Again, for this lesson, 8 out of 10 is the minimum for this chapter. And finally, instructor's comments, both positive and negative, or constructive criticisms for the student to improve on, so that we are aware of the student's background before continuing to Chapter 3. And finally, the signature of both the parents and the teachers, so that we are on the same page in regards to the student. Again, Bidaya flashcards, website, instructor's manual, as well as the online audio recordings are available for extra practice. Jazakumullah khair. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah.